people were ruthless to Ethan, okay? It's true. They were. It's true. There were a ton of people that were saying some unhinged shit. They were for a year. And there's also a real threat of rising anti-Semitism that's happening in that same time frame, okay? But the problem is, like, while that was going to happen, because there's always a rise in anti-Semitism whenever Israel goes around and says they're killing children for Judaism falsely, right? Turning around and claiming that I'm the reason why all of these people were actively radicalized in the direction of anti-Semitism, mind you. When I spend so much fucking time combating anti-Semitism, so much time educating people on dog whistles, talking.
He doesn't though. He doesn't though. That's the thing, is that he'll say this. He'll say, I spend so much time pushing back against anti-Semitism. Look, guys. And he'll show one clip of him being like, guys, I just don't think anti-Semitism is good. I just don't. I think it's bad. I do. I think that anti-Semitism is bad. And that's it. That's it. I don't think you guys should do anti-Semitism. Okay? I don't think you should. The problem is that he says, I don't think you guys should do anti-Semitism. I think anti-Semitism is bad. And then turns around, and when somebody says, hey, look, your community's doing something anti-Semitic, he says, what, that's not anti-Semitism. No, that's fine. That's real, dude. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the problem. That's the problem, is that, yes, he says, anti-Semitism bad, and then the things that people call anti-Semitism, he says, isn't anti-Semitism. This is, again, literally what Nick Fuentes does, where Nick Fuentes says, dude, I think racism is bad. I tell people all the time that I don't like racism. I don't like racists. I think it's bad. But then they're like, well, okay, so then what about when you talk about the fact that, like, black people shouldn't be in these positions because they have lower IQs on average? Like, what? That's just common sense, dude. What do you mean? That's just common sense. That's not, hold on. That's not racism. And then when Hasan says, I didn't do anything to make my audience full of anti-Semites. I didn't do anything to do that. I don't know why they blame me for my whole audience being full of anti-Semites. Well, it's not a coincidence. I'm sorry, bro. But it's not a coincidence. Like, when we're looking at Nick Fuentes' audience, he also does the same thing where he says, dude, I'm not an ethnostatist. I don't believe in ethnostates. I don't know why there's so many people in my audience who love ethnostates. There's a lot of them. I would say like 60, 70% of my audience loves ethnostates, but I'm not in favor of ethnostates. I don't need an ethnostate. I just think that white people should be the majority of the country, not an ethnostate. Well, it's like, I think the reason is because you're using all the same arguments that they use. You just draw a different line, but you guys say the same exact things. You guys have the same exact arguments. It's the same thing for him. Like when he's sitting here just like, I don't know why, dude. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's happening. It's not me. I think it is you, dude. I think it is you.
Mind you, when I spend so much fucking time combating anti-Semitism, so much time educating people on dog whistles, talking about historic fascism, talking about anti-Semitism as a canary in the coal mine of fascism. Like, that's what's so insane about it. It's like,
so insane, dude.
Especially coming from a person who knows me, you know what I mean? It's fucking ridiculous.
It's really ridiculous.
He's going out of his way to deliberately, mispronounce it, which I love. Yeah. I love all of that. Great.
And are you...
He featured a Sneeko fan, anti-Semite stalking Ian, blamed it on you. Yeah, that fucking weirdo clout shark, dating coach, cryptocurrency guy that was fucking annoying us at the goddamn Palestinian encampment at UCLA.
That Sneeko fan. That Sneeko fan, guys. That Sneeko fan. You guys remember that Sneeko fan? Who's not a Hasan fan. That was the Sneeko fan, dude. Well, I can't believe that he played that Sneeko fan doing that. That was so ridiculous when that Sneeko fan did that one thing.
So how come you don't like Palestine?
I like Palestine.
No, you don't.
Why do you say that?
Because, bro, you're... wasn't she in the IDF?
Yeah.
Sam for
Frogan.
Frogan.
Mandatory service.
That's sad. That's terrorism, bro.
She was born there.
That's sad. Feel bad for you guys. Ethan Klein, bro, you're ugly as fuck, bro. You're ugly as shit. You look like a rapist.
Bro, look in the fucking...
You look like a fucking rapist, Ethan. Feel bad for you guys. Ethan Klein, bro, you're ugly as fuck, bro. You're ugly as shit. You look like a rapist.
Yeah,
bro.
there's literally a Sneeko fan. The fuck?
Oh my god, bro, I love you. Can I give you a hug, bro?
I'm so sweaty, bro.
I love you, bro.
I'm so sweaty.
I love you, bro. I have to interview you. You're my hero, bro. I love you. Bro, you're the coolest guy in the world, bro. Hold on, I think I look gay now. Hold on.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
It's nothing. Nothing to say. Got nothing.
Hold on, I think I look gay now. Hold on.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, she's busy. She's busy at that point. Oh, she probably just didn't hear it. She didn't see it. She was busy at that point. That makes sense. That makes sense. She was just busy when that part happened.
For you guys. Ethan Klein, bro, you're ugly as fuck, bro. You're ugly as shit. You look like a bro, look in the fucking you look like a fucking rapist, Ethan. Feel bad for you.
Okay, can I just say really quickly, it's very obvious from the way that guy's talking he's a Sneeko fan. Like, I'm sorry, that language is not Hasan fan verbiage. Like, that's very clear Sneeko lexicon. Can we just be honest for just 2 seconds?
Can we just be honest, guys?
Like, just be real. Wallahi,
Let's just
that
be
is
honest,
not.
guys. Come on.
No.
Oh my god, bro, I love you, Hasan. Can I give you a hug, bro?
I'm so sweaty, bro.
I love you, bro.
I'm so sweaty.
I love you, bro. I have to interview you. You're like you're my hero, bro. I love you, bro. You're the coolest guy in the world, bro. Hold on, I think I look gay in that one.
Can we just be honest for just 2
2,
seconds? For
1.
just be.
I don't.
Yes, good clip, chimp. Very
Oh.
good. He yelled at him
Oh.
later.
Her face. She's not looking at her phone during this one. Her face, she's very clearly not looking at her phone like Frogan was. She sees this one, right? She sees it.
Like, that's very clear Sneeko lexicon. Can we just
Very
be honest
clearly.
for just 2 seconds?
be honest,
for
dude.
just be real. Wallahi, that is not. No.
No.
Oh my god, bro, I love you, Hasan. Can I give you a hug, bro?
I'm so sweaty, bro.
I love you, bro.
Look at that
I
face,
love you,
dude.
bro. I have to interview you. You're my hero, bro.
Look at that
I love
face.
you. Bro, you're the coolest guy in the world, bro. Hold on, I think I look gay in that one.
Can we
Okay,
just be
3,
honest for just 2
2,
seconds? For
1.
just be.
I don't.
Yes, good clip, chimp. Very.
What the fuck, dude? Why do they call it a clip chimp? I don't even get it. Like, this is again, when we go, like, every time we go over one of their clips, it's just pure straw man. It's just like people just being so dishonest in the way that they're engaging. I don't get it.
What is this? Here's irrefutable proof that Ethan Klein is directly coordinating his messaging against Hasan with Destiny, accused sex criminal in his community. Yeah, I mean, he does. Of course he does. Look at this, dude. Destiny's like, thank God Ethan is like stupid enough to be fucking hyper focused and hyper fixated on Hasan when virtually everyone, Ethan included, would normally be talking about how Destiny is fucking sharing sex tapes unconsensually with random girls online that he wants to fuck. Okay? He's like, oh, thank God. There it is.
See, I'm sorry, but
Now,
this is why I don't have a problem with what it is that Dan said. Oh, shit. Before we head to the highlight room against his publicist's wishes, Piker pulls out his phone to show me more examples of his impact via the Snapchat DMs. Fans send them wearing his merch. A black t-shirt he designed that says racism, bigotry, patriarchy, white supremacy, inequality, oppression, intolerance, injustice on it in white letters, each word crossed out in red. He sold nearly 2,000 of them so far. It's so dope, he says, opening Snapchat. I don't know if any of these are nudes, so don't judge me. The first one is a nude. He reads the message attached aloud. I'm sure you have hot girls throwing themselves at you all the time, but I'm a huge fan of TYT and love your work. So, where he says at the beginning, I don't know if some of these are nudes, so I apologize, like, if that's the case. I was about to say, okay, if it's like, if there are a bunch in there and he's not sure and he accidentally pulls one up and then immediately X's out, that totally makes sense and I wouldn't even hold that against him. But instead, he pulled it up, kept it there, and then continued to read what they said to him in text. So, what is the difference here? Showing nudes without getting consent from the woman first, and showing nudes without getting consent from the woman first. Can anybody tell me what the difference is between those two actions? Is that crazy? As promised, there are photos in his inbox of fans wearing the shirt, but it's about 70% nudes. Whoa, that's crazy, he says, methodically opening each message. That was, like, actually her blowing someone. I don't ever, like, talk to any of these people. That's butt stuff. Cool. The next day, Hasan jokes that his career will be over when my article comes out. Maybe he said too much. Show me one too many Snapchat DMs.
these, clips of Hasan saying disagreeable shit to essentially be like, look at this, communist, leftist, very bad.
You know what's really funny about it as well, specifically as it pertains to like Xinjiang or even Ukraine, okay? These are nuanced geopolitical subjects, okay? These are nuanced conversations about American foreign policy or American foreign adversaries engaging in ruthless politics, right? And I very openly criticize these things. I very openly criticize them. But you clip it, okay? Well, you can clip it in a way to be like, no, he loves it. He loves this shit. He hates the Uyghurs, okay? He hates the Uyghurs. Apparently, he was also talking about how like there is no Associated Press article. The one I was talking about, he was like, there's no Associated Press article about the re-education camps that definitely existed in Xinjiang were shut down. And it's like, dude, like that's literally bare minimum, okay?
Is that what it's like, dude?
That is bare minimum research. Like, look at this. Terror and tourism. Xinjiang eases its grip, but fear remains. This is bare fucking minimum research, dude. You couldn't just Google it.
Wait, what is he? He didn't say that they weren't shut down. He just played a clip of you saying they were shut down because you were downplaying how bad this was. You were the one who was acting like, oh, it's not really a genocide. It's just like, he said that they were mass slaughter camps, mass murdering camps. And then you said, well, no, they're just re-education camps. And he's like, oh, just re-education. Nothing wrong with that. You're like, yeah, it's like, you just go read the Associated Press article. That's all.
Federal government going to the fucking South and killing, unfortunately not all of them, but a decent amount of slavers and defenders of slavery. This is violent retribution that squashed.
A complete whitewashing of the Chinese Civil War.
Yes.
And most disturbingly, a complete whitewashing of the Chinese genocide against their Muslim minority group.
Yeah, see, he's saying that he's whitewashing it. Now, I do think that, like, Ethan didn't do a great job at, like, clarifying a lot of things in here that I think he should have done a better job at, but he did not say what Hasan just said he said.
The Uyghurs. Don't they have Uyghur death camps? Is that...
It's not a death camp. They were re-education camps, and they are no longer in operation.
Is that
according
true?
to the Associated Press?
Okay. I saw this crazy documentary, and I don't know. I don't know the surrounding narrative or anything about it. But it was about there was doctors in the area. They would be able to procure organs.
No, no.
I'm telling you, they were in China with.
Okay, that one is like Shenyun.
They're like,
Falun
we could
Gong.
get you an organ from a Uyghur. But why is that? Is that really that crazy?
The Associated Press quietly fucking wrote an article that didn't get a lot of coverage in mainstream media about how, like, okay, well, all the concentration camps have been closed now. Like, all the re-education camps are closed now in fucking Xinjiang, and it's like very different vibes in Xinjiang. And now, it's the tourism hour.
Let's see what the Associated Press actually had to say about this.
He's playing clips of Hasan just like downplaying this over and over and just being like, oh, dude, they already shut it down. Like, it's not even that bad.
These are all AP articles from the last 2 years. UK independent body.
Oh, okay. Now it does sound like he is saying that it's still going on, or that there's still some sort of like problem with what they're doing. Hold on. UK independent body. China committed genocide in Xinjiang. Okay.
But he reports China committed genocide in Xinjiang. China sanctioned a U.S. research firm and 2 individuals over a report about the human rights violations in Xinjiang.
It's the tourism hour.
To China's fury, UN accuses Beijing of Uyghur rights abuses.
Tourism hour.
Uyghur County in China has the highest prison rate in the world. 1 in 25 people is in a Chinese prison.
It's the tourism hour.
48 Uyghurs detained in Thailand for almost 11 years are on hunger strike to protest their imminent deportation to China, where they face imprisonment or
for 11 years. Okay, yeah. So he's showing that even if the camps are shut down, that there's still some sort of like unjust treatment going on with Uyghurs.
Execution. Not only does this AP article seem not to exist, reading the AP proved exactly the opposite. Hasan has.
Okay, hold on. So he did say right there that the AP article doesn't exist.
Happily.
You couldn't just Google it. You turned around and you said, "Oh my God." Why so scared? Why
did he
scared?
scroll up?
You won't watch the video, brother. Instead of demanding I watch the video, demand Ethan talk to me in person, okay? Because if you think I'm fearful of Ethan Klein and his political prowess,
wait, will Ethan not talk to him in person? Terror and tourism in Xinjiang eases its grips, but fear remains. All right, so let's see. Is what Hasan said true? The razor wire that once ringed public buildings in China's far northwest Xinjiang region is nearly gone. Gone too are the middle school uniforms and military camouflage and the armored personnel carriers rumbling around the homeland of Uyghurs. Gone are many of the surveillance cameras that once glared down like birds from overhead poles and the eerie internal wail of sirens in the ancient Silk Road city of Kashgar. Uyghur teenage boys, once a rare sight, now flirt with girls over pounding dance music at rollerblading rinks. One cab driver blasts Shakira as she raced through the street. 4 years after Beijing launched a brutal crackdown that swept up to a million or more Uyghurs and the other mostly Muslim minorities into detention camps and prisons, its control of Xinjiang has entered a new era. Chinese authorities have scaled back many of the most draconian and visible aspects of the region's high-tech police state. The panic that gripped the region a few years ago has subsided considerably, and a sense of normality is creeping back in. But there is no doubt who rules, and evidence of the terror of the last 4 years is everywhere. It's seen in Xinjiang, cities where many historic centers have been bulldozed, and the Islamic call for prayer no longer rings out. It's seen in Kashgar, where one mosque was converted into a cafe, and a section of another has been turned into a tourist toilet. It's seen deep in the countryside where Han Chinese officials run villages. Is this why he kept calling it tourist hour? That meme, tourist hour, sounds so much worse now. I didn't realize why he kept playing that over and over. Oh my goodness. What the fuck? But in their place, permanent detention facilities have been built in an apparent move from makeshift camps to a long-lasting system of mass incarceration. We encountered one massive facility driving along a country road, its walls rising from fields, men visible in high guard towers. At a second, we were blocked by two men wearing epidemic prevention gear. A third ranks among the largest detention facilities on Earth. Many are tucked away behind forests or dunes deep in the countryside, far from tourists and city centers. Yet this is saying the opposite. This is not saying that their detention centers are gone. This is saying that they still have them. They're just trying to hide it now. That's all this is saying. And that their detention centers are even bigger now. Officials dodged questions about how many Uyghurs were detained through statistics. Those statistics showed an extraordinary spike in arrests before the government stopped releasing them in 2019. Instead, they tell us during the tour that they've engineered the perfect solution to terrorism, protecting Uyghur culture rather than destroying it.
I hate that I had to do this. I found the first time that fan came onto your stream. Oh, here it is. Yeah, there it is. He had no idea what was going on. He just wanted to shout out his channel. He later on asked you twice for an interview, but you say no. He keeps asking if you're a communist. Clearly not an actual fan. If the most clips are out of context, couldn't watching it add the context? Dude wants me to watch the video more than he wants me to debate Ethan. I don't understand.
Why? Pothead or Potman. Is that it? Hey.
I could be on. Are you guys doing interviews? I'm Palestinian. I know I look good. Twitter, bro. You guys on Twitter?
Yeah.
That shit, you get viral there sometimes or no?
Sure.
I'm just kidding. I'm just like,
I'm
a content creator too, bro.
Sure.
I do content.
Yeah, my big fan, dude. To go into a debate about something, you should first watch the content, right? Or do you go into blind every debate?
Nothing happened there that would make me think he's not your fan. Literally nothing happened there that would make me think he's not your fan. He just said that as though it was like trolling.
In Thailand for almost 11 years are on hunger strike to protest their imminent deportation to China, where they face imprisonment or execution. Not only does this...
I'm just going to say, it is crazy to be an Israel genocide defender and like obstructionist, even though we have so much video proof, and then point at something that has...
Actually, the funny thing is that we have so much video proof of what it is you guys do and what it is Hasan does. But when you guys say that Ethan is an Israeli genocide obstructionist, you have no video proof. That's the thing that I think is really interesting, is that there's just never video proof of him doing the thing that you guys all accuse him of doing.
Way less coverage, way less eyes on it. And most of the media is ding, 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 Western propaganda. Like news networks that predominantly push Western propaganda and just take
everything that I've seen from mainstream media, for the most part, does seem to be a bit more on like leaning towards Palestinians. I think that they seem to be more empathetic towards Palestinians. Most of the Destiny initially said that the reason he was going off on this is because he felt like the way that the mainstream media was representing a lot of stuff was incorrect, and that they just never seemed to be able to back up their claims, and it was getting annoying how overtly pro-Palestine a lot of the journalists were. And that's the way that most of the media that I've seen, especially from like CNN, MSNBC, stuff like that, and I think that most of them have been pretty fair in their coverage for the most part. I don't think that when I say that they're leaning towards Palestine, I don't mean that they're like these overtly, free Palestine, like waving around Palestinian flags saying like Hamas is based sort of motherfuckers like these people. So maybe if you're not doing that, then that's what makes it Western propaganda, is that you're not running around with your hair on fire screaming that all of Gaza is gone.
Their word for it all the time, completely, entirely. Because I think it is a good thing to do a full, what would be the investigation, right? To do a full worthwhile investigation from at least whatever would be the closest, I don't know, Amnesty International, whatever would be the closest to like a neutral third party. But I think it's very interesting that he's refusing to include the headlines, the news organizations in above the headlines. Like he doesn't show whether it's from like The Guardian, or he doesn't show whether it's from like the Wall Street Journal.
Well, I was annoyed by that as well, but for different reasons. Is because I want to be able to go look it up really easily. Whereas she's mad because she thinks that if he showed that, it would discredit the claim.
Doesn't want to show any of this stuff. And I think like a big thing for me that really radicalized me on the coverage of news in China is realizing the fact that America does consistently way worse shit, consistently horrible shit to our Americans that we deem to be like the lowest class. So
we do way worse things to Americans than cultural genocide consistently. We're consistently doing way worse things than a cultural genocide, way worse things than what China did to the Uyghurs. The American government is consistently doing way worse things to their own citizens.
I think disabled Americans are a good example, where like America just kind of ignores disabled Americans. It doesn't fucking matter if you're disabled. We just don't give a fuck. You have to wait for years to potentially get any disability pay. You're not allowed to get married. You are not allowed to work any amount of labor. You're not allowed to have more than $2,000 of assets, I think excluding your home and car. I could be mistaken on the details on this. And we're just like, okay. No.
Just to be clear, I have a sister who has been on government aid for a very long time. She was married. She did have a car, and she has work jobs, but from her computer, she's not able to leave her room, and isn't really able to like get up and go do things. This does not seem to align with reality.
No, we're good. No marriage. If you get married as someone who is actively receiving disability pay, your disability pay stops.
Your disability pay, I believe, goes down. I don't believe it stops. Yes, you can get married while receiving Social Security, disability benefits, and your monthly payments will usually remain the same. However, marriage may affect other benefits, such as Social Security. Yes, you can get married while on disability Medicaid, but doing so may result in losing your benefits depending on your spouse's income and assets, as each state has different rules regarding Medicaid marriage penalties, where your combined income would disqualify you from receiving benefits. It's crucial to consult with a disability advocate or legal professional before getting married to understand how it might affect your eligibility. Yeah, so that's what I was saying, is that it could go down, but it's going to be based on like, there's an overall amount that they're paying you. Now, if you all of a sudden have a shared income with somebody else, obviously that's beneficial for you. Now, if that shared income combined is over a certain amount, then yes, it starts to reduce how much you're able to make, and to the point that it seems as though you're making way more than what it is that they're giving you with just that one spouse. Then yes, now they are just going to make it to where you are only reliant on that spouse. That's not outrageous. That's literally what we would expect. This is literally what we would expect. This is the same with like any sort of government aid, is that like if you're on unemployment or, you know, any sort of welfare, if you have a spouse that makes a lot of money, it would make sense that yes, your spouse's income is going to matter, and that they're not going to go start paying benefits to a woman who just lost her job but is married to a fucking billionaire. Like, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm glad that they don't do that.
Because your income is now tied to their income. Well, your partner makes this much money, so we can't give you checks anymore. This is like a huge problem for activists, where, I don't know, maybe you shouldn't lose your disability pay just because you want to get married. Oh, okay, well, we're not like, well, it's different. Okay, we're only financially controlling these people. We're not really doing anything else. What about, like, I don't know, the thousands of people that have been incarcerated?
Financially controlling these people? What is the financial control there? That they don't want them to get married? This is literally a conservative talking point. This is actually a Republican talking point where they say that the reason that children, because it is true, we have tons of stats that show that kids who grow up in single parent households have way worse outcomes than kids that grow up in two parent households. That's just obvious. I think that anybody can admit it's obvious that somebody who has two parents who are able to do twice as many things now you have somebody who's able to take you to and from basketball practices, take you to friends' houses, pick you up and drop you off at school instead of you having to ride the school bus. You have somebody that you're able to spend more quality time with. You have more time with a parent instead of a babysitter. You have more time to eat meals with them. Like, obviously, I think that everybody would agree that you are just more likely to have much better outcomes if you have two parents in the household than one. And they say that, well, actually, welfare makes it to where they are disincentivizing people to get married, because if women get married, then they are going to lose a large chunk of their welfare. And if that's the case, they would just be better off never getting married and never allowing there to be a second income within the house. So Black women are the ones who are disproportionately on welfare. And if they're on welfare at the highest rates and then they have kids, well, you get more money per kid. But then if all of a sudden you get married, well, now you lose that money. So it is incentivizing to have kids, but disincentivizing to get married, meaning that Black women are now just very likely to have a bunch of kids growing up in single parent households. They're using this money to control these people and make it to where they're much worse off. This is literally a fucking conservative talking point that tons of people use, that she would argue against. I would bet anything she would argue against this and say that's not true.
Incarcerated and are still incarcerated for weed crimes that are working for like 5 cents an hour so that they can package chicken, and have to serve decades for something that isn't even necessarily illegal in the state that they're currently in. I don't care how many, you can slice it however you'd like, but that's just modern slavery. That's modern slavery. You're putting these
I'm sorry. Wait, what just happened?
Get married? Oh, okay, well, we're not like, well, it's different. Okay, we're only financially controlling these people. We're not really doing anything else. What about, like, I don't know, the thousands of people that have been incarcerated and are still incarcerated for weed crimes that are working for, like 5 cents an hour so that they can package chicken, and have to serve decades for something that isn't even necessarily illegal in the state that they're currently in?
Oh, fucking shit, dude. Denims, you understand that, yes, these people are only making about 5 cents an hour. You also understand that they are being housed, given beds to sleep on, tables to eat at. The food is given to them. The drinks are given to them. Bathrooms with running water, fucking showers with soap, toothbrushes, with toothpaste. Like, all of their basic necessities are provided to them. And then these prisons are able to make some money in order to make up that difference, which then saves taxpayers money. Instead of having it all to go to prisoners, they're able to subsidize a lot of this with them. That is not the same thing as slavery. That is very different. When I was in prison, I worked the entire time, the whole time, for over a year, every single day. Well, not after I got my kneecap shattered, but I worked all the time, and then I didn't get paid at all. Not at all. Zip. Nothing. You just do the work. That's it. We would go out and mow all of the lawns that were on government property. We would go mow the lawns that were interstate, state interstates. We would go, trim all the bushes and shit like that. Did you get any time off? Yeah, sorry, we got weekends off. We didn't work Saturdays or Sundays. I can understand like some arguments as why they think this is maybe a little unfair, and I'm happy to hear those. But what she's saying is just not an honest representation of what's actually happening, and this is why these people are so disingenuous and such fucking liars. But when they hear my argument, you know what they'll say is, wow, I can't believe this guy is defending slavery. Wow, I can't believe this guy is just sweeping for slavery. I can't believe we have a slavery sweeper here. This is disgusting. How do you sweep for slavery? I'm sorry that like actually being honest and telling things the way that they happen in reality instead of engaging in like far leftist propaganda to kind of try to brainwash people isn't really my thing. That might be y'all's thing, but it's not really my thing. So yeah, I suppose if like telling the truth is sweeping, I am definitely a sweeper. Where's my reparations?
For pathetic crimes, and when these things get eventually overruled as like not crimes, like you're from California, you got arrested for weed. Although probably actually we've pardoned everyone in California, so California's probably not the best state. But you live in a state where it became legal after you'd already been imprisoned, and you have to keep serving your time, and you have to pay up to $250 a night for your stay in a prison that might just let you die, by the way, because that's another thing about America that's really, really good. If you go to prison, you have to pay per night in 48 states, and then you have to repay that money. So if you were in prison for a year, well, that's potentially...
Yes, prison labor can go towards paying for incarceration in the United States. Prisons deduct fees from the wages of incarcerated workers to help cover the cost of incarceration. These fees can include room and board and other miscellaneous fees. There you go. So earlier when I was saying, yeah, they're paying you very little, they're giving you all of your basic necessities. Well, but then she's like, and then they charge you for it. Well, you are paying it off with the same work. So it's not really the same as actually getting 5 cents an hour.
That seems like a... No. America's system is fine. We don't need more coverage on something that's insane like this. What about the Uyghurs in China? China's so evil, guys. Stop talking about America. Oh, stop talking about...
This is actually insane. This is actually insane. She was earlier talking about the fact that he was willing to talk about Hasan instead of talking about genocide. Now he's talking about genocide and she's mad that he's talking about genocide. Why would you talk about genocide? This is insane.
About America. Stop. China's evil. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm starting to have like a pretty extreme hatred for this guy.
I say I hate America all the time, okay? A lot of motherfuckers want to kill me over that take.
And saying, nobody was racist to me, so I conclude that this town is not racist. And
I realize what Jin Yun's doing is on-the-ground journalism, right? Like actual on-the-ground journalism.